Hello, welcome to the CIRS Healing Collective Expert Guest Video Series. I'm Jenny Johnson, the host and facilitator of the CIRS Healing Collective, which has been a resource for aspiring CIRS overcomers to share and connect from around the world since 2020. I'm a shoemaker proficiency partner and CIRS coach, and most importantly, an overcomer myself. What you're about to see is a 10-minute excerpt from a 90-minute group discussion that members of the CIRS Healing Collective got to have live with this expert guest. If you would like to see the full 90-minute replay, come on over to the CIRS Healing Collective. We have a robust video library from the past 5 or 6 years of so many expert guests. Better yet, you'll be able to join our future monthly live discussions with experts to come. We'd love to have you.
So we had a red hot spot here. We had orange on either side, but the entire rest of the room was in the yellow in terms of the levels of peptide bonds and proteins. And you know what? This whole other area that was tested and came back high on the ERMI was only high because of this area. These areas were not that high, didn't need that much work. Sure, we're going to clean it again one time to make sure we pick up on anything extra, but we're not going to have to go through the multiple rounds of cleaning that would take place in this area where we have actual growth. So how does cleaning take place? I'm going to do a short demonstration of that. And we want to clean high, we want to clean low, we want to go to the various nooks and crannies and do what we can. I'm not married to Swiffer wipes. I like Hygiene wipes by Rubbermaid. There are a variety of different disposable microfiber cleaning cloths that can be used. Just know that if you're using a reusable microfiber cleaning cloth and you're throwing it into your regular washer, it's not going to get clean. Microfibers hold those particles. In order to relax the fibers and have them release the particles, you've got to get the temperature up over 165 degrees Fahrenheit and wash a regular microfiber cloth for about 45 minutes with several cycles of rinsing and adding more soap or detergent. And, you know, I mean, it's the type of thing where there are industrial washers that will do this type of stuff automatically, but it's pretty rare for somebody to have those kind of capabilities in their home. Anyway, the cleaning, we do edge cleaning, we do S cleaning. We put the Swiffer wipe in place on the wipe. We take our cleaning solution, which is made up of 5 drops of non-toxic types of dish detergent. I like 7th generation free and clear. Some of my clients choose to use Dawn dish detergent. If you're using Dawn, it really does need to be there free and clear, that doesn't have the perfumes or the colors or anything like that in it. But one of my favorite cleaners is Branch Basics. Basically it's just 5 drops of it added to a quart of water in a spritzer bottle. And then you spray the wipe, you don't spray the floor, and you go around, and this is edge cleaning. And then we use S cleaning for the middle of the floors. After I've tried about 40 square feet, I will take a look at it and see whether or not it's coming up clean. And if it's coming up clean, whoops, wrong way. If it's coming up clean, that's a good indication that that the floor is actually clean. 40 square feet of cleaning, a clean Swiffer wipe, just because it's not putting anything onto it at great levels. I can go ahead and use it for other areas to clean dirtier areas, but it's what the wipe is telling us about the dirt that tells us whether we can go ahead with it or not. There are a variety of different testing techniques that can be used to help us understand, are we getting the surfaces clean? Fungal enzyme testing is one that we use a lot of because it is specific to mold, it will not detect bacteria like actinomycetes or endotoxin producing bacteria. But from a fungal standpoint, if we know that this area had mold growth on it and the companies come along and sanded it while HEPA vacuuming, wire brushed it, cleaned it using the various detergent-based methods that we've talked about briefly. If there's still mold there, we're going to detect it this way. Now, this test is more expensive. It's like $95 per test. But to find out specifically, is there mold, I think that there are times when it's worth it. Particle counter can be used to test our ductwork and see whether or not air is blowing out that's got high levels of particles in it. And then we can use the peptide bond and protein testing, the pathways testing, to figure out where are the issues. So in this case here, notice that there are 3 rounds of testing that's been done. This is turning into a typical pattern for helping to figure out, is there a problem? What is it going to take to clean the problem? And is there more of a problem than what cleaning is going to be able to take care of? So notice that the lowest spot in every one of these locations is coming in either in the yellow or the orange. Basically, that means we've got an elevated level of peptide bonds and proteins. It needs to be cleaned up. We want to get rid of those potential mold and bacteria fragments and the enzymes from the molds that would be there causing this type of stuff. Now, it could be other allergens like pollens. It could be rodent urine or a variety of different types of feces from insects or animals. But we need to get it taken care of. We need to get it cleaned up. And notice the middle spot in every one of these cases is in the green. That means we've got less than 66 micrograms of peptide bonds and proteins per 48 linear inch of sample, with 4 exceptions. This exception here, it didn't matter how much cleaning was done. We couldn't get it clean enough to get down into the green. This area here, the cleaning actually made it worse. They probably came in contact with the mold that was behind this cabinet. There was very dense mold, about 10 square feet of Stachybotrys. And so they probably drug it out and actually spread it around in the cabinet some. This area got clean, and this area here got clean, but it didn't stay clean. A week and a half to 2 weeks later, we repeated all of these, and look how it's working its way out. So we've got it still there. But look at this one. We went from orange to green, and a week and a half to 2 weeks later, it's yellow. These peptide bonds and proteins that represent potential mold contamination and bacteria contamination are working their way out. The same with this vanity. It went from yellow to green to yellow again. And so we've got new stuff that's working its way out. Now, what that tells me is that almost every area in this place was able to be controlled by cleaning. The levels weren't going up that fast. They were going up at a steady state. And that is what we would expect to see in a normal building that might have some stuff coming in from the outside. There's always going to be some molds working their way in from outside or tracked in, or some pollens or other types of outdoor stuff. But these were the 4 areas that really needed attention. This area had almost 10 square feet of mold behind that cabinet. And so the wall needed to be taken care of. But it was because this shower on the other side of the wall was leaking. We actually did not detect the problem so much in the bathroom as on the back side of that wall where this vanity was. This vanity only had a couple square inches of visible mold back behind it, but there may have been more mold that was subvisible that you couldn't see. If you got mold at 100,000 colony forming units per square inch, you're not going to see it, but it's still high enough that 10 square inches of 100,000 is equal to 1 square inch of 1,000,000. And then this area here was the HVAC system, which had leaked into the wall cavity. When they remediated it, it turned out there was mold in that wall cavity between the metal plenum for the ductwork for the cold air return and the wall. One of the most important things is you've got to fix the water entry points. If there's still water coming in, anything that you do is only going to happen again. It's going to come back. It's not going to be fixed. So reconstruction and maintenance, this gets into the information that would be in Prescriptions for a Healthy House, a practical guide for architects, builders, and homeowners. And then ongoing monitoring with the peptide bond and protein testing can help to determine the effectiveness of the cleaning and how often you need to be doing the cleaning. what I hate to have happen, and yet I've noticed this on numerous occasions, I'll get calls from people 6 months after remediation was done. So they've spent money, they've done remediation. And 6 months later, they call me and say, I'm feeling terrible. I've been feeling terrible for 3 months now. I don't know what's going on. I'm so sick. And it turns out either that the remediation didn't get it all, or maybe they have another leak that's causing new mold growth